Hey guys, Magic Man here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a game in my Tier 8 Mogami. I just unlocked this ship the other day, and while it used to be one of the ships that I really looked forward to getting to when I started playing this game in the beta, it has since lost its luster to me, really, because of how they nerfed advanced firing training and basic firing training. And kind of how they've nerfed the 6-inch guns on the Mogami. I remember playing against this ship in the beta in my Pensacola, and there was nothing I could do to this ship. He'd just angle against me, and the range and just the overwhelming firepower and the the fire rate of these guns on this ship were just, there's nothing you could do. But they've since nerfed the reload and the turret traverse of these 6-inch guns. It takes 10 seconds for them to reload. The range is shorter than it used to be at 15.7 kilometers. And, you know, they traverse slower than battleship guns. I believe the turret traverse, the 180 degrees, is 57 seconds, 51 seconds. It's somewhere in the 50-second range, so it's just incredibly slow even for Japanese standards. And so Wargaming has definitely they're trying to push you to the 203mm guns on this ship, and I'm not a huge fan of it, but it is what it is. Now, this is a game of Bastion. It is a Tier 10 game, as you can see here. There are a couple of Tier 10 ships on each side. Now, I'm pushing up to this island over by the 2 cap, because the middle cap here is just incredibly pivotal in how this game goes. If you control the middle of the map, it really helps your team. And we were just like a second away from capturing the middle when that Benson over there took a hit. I'm guessing that Chepiev or Chepiev. Not quite sure how to say that. But anyways, the Tier 8 Russian cruiser pushed in, and I'm pretty sure radared them. And that's how the enemy team spotted them and shot them, unfortunately for us. Now, one of the enemy needies is pushing in, and stupid me, I didn't check to see which ammo I had loaded from the last game, and it was armor piercing, so I get 2 penetrations, but it doesn't appear that they did any damage, surprisingly. Not quite sure what that was about, but I do have 2 penetrations, but it gave me no damage, so yeah, whatever. Now, this is a very strong position, for one. Now, I just saw the gearing there when he shot down my scout plane, which is good for me because I know he's coming. But what I was saying about this position is that's a very strong position. You're safe from the enemy team as long as they don't push into the cap. And it really gives you a good spot to torpedo incoming ships and really deal with any destroyers that are in the cap. And this gearing, I guess he thought he was being kind of smooth here. He decided to go ahead and come around the island. I'm guessing he didn't turn around because he had already committed. But either way, he's going to eat a lot of damage from me. Hit him with 9 shots, and then he ends up eating a torpedo. Now that's a big deal in this game mode, when you can just kill a destroyer, especially a Tier 10 gearing. That really gives my team an advantage there. Unfortunately for us, we actually lose a battleship. But I do get the first blood achievement there. I'm surprised I was the first one to actually kill anybody, but you know, it is what it is. Right now, the teams are even. There are 2 dead ships on each team. And right now, the enemy team, I think, understands the importance of this 2 cap, and they're all concentrated there in the middle of the map trying to push in. Excuse me, I'm still a little bit sick. Well, I shouldn't say a little bit. Actually got sick again. I don't know how that happened, but you'll just have to excuse me if I have to cough or sneeze or anything. Now, I'm trying to get back in a position to where I can deal some damage to these battleships. But if I'm going to continually be spotted by these spotter planes, it's going to be very tough to do damage to these guys because all these battleships here, I know they're definitely going to turn their attention onto me. Excuse me. So I'm going to do my best to just try and stick around and give them something to think about, so that they don't try pushing onto the other side of this island. As long as they come at us one at a time, I've got no worries about them doing too much. But what's actually happening right now is because they didn't send anybody to the 1 or 3 cap, we ended up with 2 caps. Now they're going to end up with the middle cap, which sucks because it is a pretty important cap. But the big thing that's going to happen, and ooh, I do quite a bit of damage to that Liu Yang. Take almost half of his health away from him. But and that's just what I'm talking about. Even though the 203mm guns on the Mogami they rotate faster, somewhere in the neighborhood of 30-second turret rotation. The reload and the fact that you lose, they're just dual 203mm. The fact that you lose basically 5 guns is such a big deal. Like, to land 9 shells with the 203mm, that would be tough to do. And so that's why I really like these triple turreted 6-inch guns on this this Mogami. It's just so much firepower, and you can really melt destroyers. Usually it only takes 2, maybe 3 salvos sometimes if you get unlucky. And these guns are just really strong because of how many shells you can put in the air. And I don't feel like the 203s do enough to really make up for that. Now, these 6-inch guns, you're not going to be citadeling very many people with them. They're just not very weighty shells. But when you get into, I'd say anything 12 kilometers and less, you can usually citadel other cruisers, which isn't too bad. Excuse me. At this point, I felt like the enemy team was probably going to start pushing over to the other side of the island, but I kind of misread the situation, and now I'm out in the open for no reason. And I'm starting to take shots from the fort and something in the smoke, and I actually landed a torpedo on that Iowa, which is great. I really wanted to flush who was ever in that smoke out, but it looks like the smoke ran out and he had to get out of there anyways. And these, I'm not a huge fan of these forts. They do like 3,500 to 4,000 damage every time they hit your ship, and right now I'm just friggin', this fort is just killing me with how many shots it's landed. It's just doing so much damage too. And we actually get a fire on the Iowa, although I'm pretty sure his damage control is probably still up, so I don't think that fire will be sticking. And yeah, my damage counter is not going up, so it most definitely is not. Now, right now the score is fairly even. Enemy team has 1 more ship than we do, but that's not quite that big a deal. our fort actually just took out one of the enemy Bismarcks, which is kind of funny. Just another reason I don't like the forts. Kind of makes a, I don't know, a fluid and dynamic game, I guess you could call this, and kind of makes it, I don't know, a little less dynamic. Makes you more cautious, definitely, because I am not a huge fan of trying to get close to those forts, because they do quite a bit of damage to you. And I actually take a citadel there, unfortunately, from the Yamato that's sitting in that smoke. He's yet to be spotted yet, and that's when I eat a shell from the fort. And if I eat another one from the fort, I'll probably die, which would be awful. But set a fire on the fort and it goes down. So right now we've got the kill count even. The great thing for my team is the fact that most of the enemies left are destroyers, because destroyers are very easy to kill if you can get close to them. And I'm just trying to set this Yamato on fire. I'd like to take him out of the game with the help of my Yamato on our team, but this guy is just not unangling his ship. Oh, and he's finally starting to soften up the side of the ship a little bit there as far as the angle goes. And we've actually got some fire damage rolling on him right now, and our friendly score is a really good hit there. It takes about 20,000 points of health off of him. And I'm trying to do what I can here to help him. Unfortunately for me, our friendly has started sinking, which means I'm probably going to be next. I'm going to have to do whatever I can. Oh my gosh, and somehow I did not die. I don't know if that was a no damage penetration or if I actually bounced that, but there we go. There we actually take some damage from that shell. Looked like an over penetration, which is good for me, because if I had taken a citadel there, I'd have definitely died, or even penetrating damage would have killed me. So I'm just trying to change my course ever so slightly here to make sure that I don't die, and that's when our friendly destroyers finally take out that Yamato, because I don't know how many more salvos I would have lasted. Ooh, excuse me. But needless to say, the outcome of this game is still up in the air, because I'm a little bit worried about our destroyers being killed by theirs. Luckily for us, it looks like the gearing, yeah, and I was a little worried those torpedoes might have hit the gearing. But he was out of harm's way. Nothing to worry about there. Now, I've got my scouter plane up and hydro up, because I know this game's going to be over soon, and I don't want us to lose any more points than we have to by taking a random torpedo or something. So I'm going to make sure that I can see anything before it gets anywhere close to me, and unfortunately we lose the Fletcher to the Loyang, and this gearing is going to lose a ton of his points to this stupid fort. Had 7,000 hit points, now he's got 2,000. That fort landed 2 shots on him, and that's really unfortunate. I am going to stay stealth up though, because I know this game is almost over. All I have to do is stay alive. So we're basically going to make the Loyang come to us, or at least that was my idea. You know, there I am in chat saying just stay alive and we can win. Now, I do like the Mogami. I think it's a pretty good ship, and especially with especially once I get concealment expert on my captain, it'll be even better, because right now it has a 10.5 kilometer detection range when I'm not firing, and it blooms out to 16.6 when I do fire, which strangely enough in the stats in the port it actually tells me that when I fire my guns my detection is 15.2. So I don't know why those numbers aren't jiving, but my main map's telling me my detection is 16.6 when I fire my guns, so I don't know what that's all about. But anyways, this game's going to be over right here just as soon as we tick up 2,000 points. Now the results for this game weren't too impressive, but it was a very close game, which is kind of why I shared it, and it was also one of the very first games I had in this cruiser. I really like the Mogami, and I don't know, just the amount of firepower I have just really draws me to it. But anyways, ended up on second on the team there. We got the first blood award in this game, and I got 1400 base XP. Now fortunately for me, we won this on caps and we survived, but I also try to play this game very aggressively, and I also think that's why it took him so long to cap the number 2 point there. But we kind of spread our damage around a little bit to everybody there. Not a whole lot of fire damage. Most of our damage actually came from the HE shells themselves and torpedoes that landed on that gearing. But I ended up making 77,000 credits out of this game, probably because it was a tier 10 game. I did a lot of damage to some tier 10 ships, but I just really wanted to share this game because of how close it was. Anyways, if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching. Now the results for this game